isn't confusing. Buyers are just reading it wrong. Every week, I hear the same question framed a dozen different ways. Is the market hot again? Is it cooling? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? And that problem isn't the question itself. The problem is that those questions are already outdated. They're based on headlines, not on what actually determines whether a buyer wins or overpays. Northern Utah isn't sending mixed signals. And when I say Northern Utah, I'm talking about those areas like Ogden, Farmington, Kaysville, and even Cache Valley. It's sending too many signals at the same time. And most buyers are reacting to the loudest ones instead of the most important ones. So if you're moving to Northern Utah or relocating within it, this video isn't about predicting where the market is headed. It's about showing you how people misread the market entirely and how that misunderstanding quietly costs them leverage, money, flexibility after they buy. Because right now, there are buyers winning in Northern Utah, and there are buyers hesitating themselves into bad deals, and they're often looking at the same listings. So here's what's actually happening. The housing conversation in Northern Utah has become pure noise. Inventory numbers, interest rate speculation, social media hot takes, statewide stats, builders screaming about their incentives, none of that actually tells you what you need to know to make a good decision. Buyers keep asking, is this a good time to buy? When the better question is, what signals actually matter right now? And the reason that matters is because the buyers who are succeeding in this market are not timing it, they're interpreting it. So let me explain. Most buyers are trained to watch three things: headlines, interest rates, and inventory. Those are the loud signals. They feel important, they feel official. They also mislead people constantly. Headlines describe what already happened, not what's actionable now. Rates are very similar. Everyone waits for the perfect interest rate, but rates don't create deals, they change who has leverage. When interest rates rise, sellers who need to move adjust their price. Builders adjust. Buyers who understand that get better terms. Buyers who freeze, waiting for rate drops, often miss the window where leverage actually exists. Inventory is the loudest signal of them all. Statewide inventory numbers are almost meaningless in Northern Utah. What matters is where inventory is rising, what type of inventory, and how sellers are responding to it. A townhome in a heavy pocket behaves differently than an established single-family neighborhood. A builder-heavy corridor behaves differently than an area with little new construction. Treating Northern Utah like one big market is the fastest way to make a bad assumption. This is why buyers get stuck. They hear things like inventory is up and assume prices must fall. They hear Utah is still strong and assume that there's no leverage. Both can be wrong at the same time. Here's the reality most people miss. The Northern Utah market right now is a thinking market, and thinking markets punish buyers who rely on shortcuts. The buyers who struggle are waiting for clarity. The buyers who win are looking for imbalance. Imbalance tells you who needs who more in a transaction, and that signal doesn't come from headlines, it comes from behavior. So instead of asking whether the market is hot or cold, you need to watch three signals that actually drive outcomes in Northern Utah right now. The first signal is who is adjusting first. When sellers are adjusting faster than buyers, buyers gain leverage. That adjustment doesn't always show up as a price cut. Sometimes it shows up as a willingness to pay closing costs. Sometimes it shows up as a rate buy down. Sometimes it shows up as flexibility on timelines, repairs, and contingencies. This is where buyers misread new construction constantly. Builders offering incentives doesn't automatically mean you're getting a deal. It means the builder needs velocity of sales. The question is not whether incentives exist, the question is what the builder is unwilling to do. If the builder is willing to offer a rate buy down but won't touch the base price, that tells you something. If they'll throw in upgrades but resist permanent financing improvements, that also tells you something. Incentives are not generosity, they're signals. And here's the critical mistake buyers make. They anchor on monthly payment instead of the long-term position. Temporary affordability feels like a win. Permanent leverage is actually the real win. If a deal only works because of a temporary incentive, that market already spoke. The incentive exists to bridge the gap between price expectations and buyer reality. That doesn't mean you shouldn't buy, it means you should negotiate differently. The second signal that matters is what is being negotiated. In Northern Utah right now, price is not always the first thing to move, terms are. This is where buyers get confused because they expect prices to drop dramatically. When that doesn't happen, they assume there's no real opportunity. Meanwhile, sellers are quietly paying tens of thousands in closing costs buying down interest rates, or other flexibility that didn't exist a few years ago. And trust me, I see this all the time with the clients I represent. In a tight emotional market, price is not the only lever. In a thinking market, terms come back first. That's why two buyers can buy similar homes at similar prices and have completely different financial outcomes. One negotiated nothing because prices didn't crash. The other structured the deal to reduce the long-term risk. So if you're buying in Northern Utah and you're not evaluating concessions, financing structure, inspection leverage, and competition density, you are negotiating blindly. The third signal, and this is the one that predicts regret more than anything else, is what you will compete with when you sell. This is where buyers get burned very quickly. They buy based on today's excitement without considering tomorrow's competition. And in Northern Utah, this matters a lot. Some areas have ongoing new construction pipelines, while others don't have any. Some neighborhoods will see more phases built around them. Others are effectively built out already. Some homes will always compete against resale only. Others will compete against brand new homes with fresh incentives. If you buy resale next to a builder still selling, you are not just buying a house, you're also buying your future competition. If you buy a heavily upgraded new home in a community with multiple phases left, you're betting that future buyers will value your upgrades more than a brand new incentive package down the street. This doesn't mean don't buy, it means understanding the signals. So let's apply this to Northern Utah without turning it into a city-by-city recap. Northern Utah right now is full of micro markets responding differently to the same pressure. Some areas respond by holding firm on price because demand is lifestyle driven and supply is constrained. In these pockets, negotiation happens on terms, timing, and execution. Buyers who come in aggressively on price often get ignored. Buyers who show readiness are the ones that get rewarded. Other areas rely on incentives. These are often newer communities or just on the outskirts of the main cities, or places where builders need absorption. This is where buyers think that they're getting deals while quietly accepting long-term risk if they don't structure the deal correctly. And then there are areas responding with actual price flexibility. These are pockets where demand overshot reality when rates changed, or where inventory stacked faster than buyers returned to the market. This is where patience and discipline can really pay off, but only if you're paying attention. The mistake relocators make is assuming all three behaviors mean the same thing, and they don't. This is why some buyers overpay in incentive-heavy areas because they treat incentives as savings instead of signals. It's why others miss opportunities in softer pockets because they expect a crash instead of negotiating intelligently. And it's why some buyers chase deals far more than their daily needs and end up regretting the lifestyle trade-off. Which brings us to the signal nobody talks about, and that's the point of friction. Most buyer regret in Northern Utah does not come from buying at the wrong time. It comes from buying the wrong setup. In other words, commute friction, HOA friction, insurance, property tax adjustments, winter driving, construction season. These don't show up on a listing. They show up after you move in and you've already bought the house. Two homes at the same price can deliver completely different lifestyles. A house that looks like a deal on paper can become very expensive when you factor in timing, stress, and resale competition. A house that feels expensive upfront can become the better long-term move if it reduces friction and stays liquid. This is why the wait and see buyer often loses, not because prices explode again, but because the best fitting opportunities disappear. There is no certainty in any market. There are only signals that can be interpreted. So here's how buyers should be thinking about Northern Utah right now. If you're targeting established areas with limited new supply and a strong lifestyle pull, your edge is preparation. This means clean offers, clear timelines, strong financing. You don't win by fighting the market, you win by aligning with it. If you're targeting new construction or incentive-heavy communities, your edge is structure. You don't chase monthly payment, you negotiate permanent advantages. You pressure test the deal without incentives, and you make sure the home works even if interest rates never come down. If you're targeting areas with longer days on market, your edge is discipline. You negotiate hard, you protect yourself in inspections, you don't absorb seller optimism, and you walk away if the numbers do not support your future flexibility. And no matter where you're buying, you always need to ask yourself this question: what will I compete with when I sell in the future? That question alone saves people from a lot of regret. So here's the reality, and this is where some people maybe won't agree with me. Most buyers in Northern Utah don't lose money because they bought at the wrong time. They lose money because they followed headlines, or they waited for certainty, or they just assumed incentives meant value. This market isn't about timing anymore, it's about interpretation. And the buyers who win are the ones willing to slow down, question the obvious, and stop letting noise make decisions for you. Now, I'm genuinely curious, and this is where I want to hear from you. Do you think Northern Utah is still a seller's market? Or do you think buyers who know how to negotiate finally have an edge? Drop a comment below and tell me what you think. So if you are thinking about relocating to the Northern Utah area and you want help deciphering a good deal from a bad deal, reach out to me. My team and I would love to help you. You'll find my contact information below, and subscribe to the channel if you want more information about the Utah real estate market. I'll see you in the next video.